time traveler just took a lie detector test and passed it. I'm about to share with you all of his predictions for the upcoming future. So quickly make sure to favorite this video so we can come back to it to see if he was right. Let's start off with August of 2028, where aliens are meant to land here on Earth.
Yes, it is true that aliens did land on Earth in August 2028.
In fact, he states that we already know about the existence of aliens before this, as it becomes public knowledge. What?
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing all right, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do. We break down scary and creepy videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank my supporters, man, who's tapping into the channel, man, watching the video entirely, hitting that post notification bell, man, hitting that like button on each and every single video I drop. I greatly appreciate your support. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best, man. Let's seek the truth.
Well, let's talk about one of the scariest urban legends that actually turned out to be true. In the 1970s in Long Beach, California, there was an amusement park called the Pike Amusement, and inside this park was this creepy little fun house called Life in the Dark.
Okay.
Inside of Life in the Dark were a bunch of mannequins, and this urban legend started circulating around that all of them were fake except to one. There was just something about this mannequin that turned people away. They said he was a little too human, and they even said that the area around it was just stanky. So flashing forward to a few years later, a TV crew comes in to film The $6 Million Man, and they decide to use Laugh in the Dark as one of their sets. So the director's trying to get the perfect shot, and this one mannequin that's been in question is in the shot, but he's just not liking how it's looking with it in it. So he asked one of the crew members to move it. So this crew member goes over, and when he tries to move the mannequin, its arm falls off. Inside is human bone. It's actually a mummified body. The body belonged to Elmer McCurdy, who was dubbed the bandit who wouldn't give up. He was an outlaw who was robbing a train in Oklahoma in 1911 when he was taken out by the police. His body was on display at an Oklahoma funeral home, but ownership changed and he got shifted around and around and around until he finally ended up at the Pike Amusement, and everyone thought he was fake until he was finally positively ID'd in 1976.
This is why you
That's
should never
insane.
read someone else's diary. Once there was a girl named Samantha who took her friends to her dad's lake house because her dad grew up in the area and actually named the lake after her, Lake Samantha. But as soon as her friends arrived, they noticed something strange. There was a doll hanging on every door in all the houses in town. Samantha explained it's because of a local urban legend. Years ago, a man escaped from an insane asylum nearby, unalived his entire family, then disappeared. Since then, people would go missing around the same time every year, so the dolls were used for protection. But after spending a day by the lake, Samantha and her friends found an old diary, half buried in the dirt near an abandoned house. They opened it up and saw multiple entries dating back to the 80s. But the most terrifying part was the last entry dated August 13, 2010. And it said, "I'm so proud of my daughter. She doesn't hear the voices and she has a lot of friends. Sometimes I take her to these woods. I even named the lake after her." That's when they all heard the sound of twigs snapping behind them. And when they turned around, they saw Samantha's father, saying, "You weren't supposed to find that. Follow for more."
Records that will never be broken again. Number 1, the woman with the most children. Back in the 1800s, a Russian woman named Vasiliev gave birth to 69 total children.
God
she
damn!
had 16 pairs of twins, 7 triplets, and 4 quadruplets. And no one has come close to matching that number since. Number 2, the most nuclear explosions ever survived. This is Tsutomu Namaguchi. He has survived 2 different nuclear explosions. Tsutomu was on a business trip when the first nuclear bomb was dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. After miraculously surviving that explosion, he returned to his hometown of Nagasaki just in time to witness the second atomic bombing. But again, he miraculously survived and lived till the age of 93.
Do you know how lucky you have to be to survive 2 of those events in history? Yeah, something on his side. Because he survived 2 of them. That's insane. And those women who held those kids, yeah, I don't think that record's probably ever going to be broken. 69? What the hell?
Are the creepiest YouTube channels to ever exist.
Talk about it.
Part 1. Number 1, Meat Sleep. Meat Sleep began posting in 2015 and has since then stopped posting, but that still doesn't change the fact that its horrifying videos and very disturbing history linked to the channel gives it a spot on this list. Sleep then removed the several videos it had on the channel even after garnering over 16,000 subscribers, but that still doesn't change the fact that some people saw some very terrible things. Most of the channel consisted of videos that seemed to be of people being stalked, but there was one video in particular that people pointed out that really just got under their skin. There was one video on the channel titled Meat Pig, which in cannibals' terms is actually human meat. Many people believe that the creator behind these videos is secretly a murderer and a cannibal as well. I assume the creator of this channel is still unknown, but who knows, they may be in jail.
And they was posting on YouTube and getting away with it? That was evidence right there. Man. Meat Sleep. First time hearing about that, man. Top in with us, you're gonna learn. What's that? Edit.
This
All them
teenager
out.
killed his mom over a bad grade. This is 15-year-old Gregory Ramos. And on November 2nd, 2018, Gregory Ramos got into a fight with his mother, Gail Clevenger. The fight started over his bad school grades, which resulted in him strangling his own mother to death. Gregory then proceeded to call two of his friends to help him bury her body and stage a robbery at his house. Gregory buried her body under a church fire pit and was sentenced to 45 years in prison. Now, what I'm about to show you is Gregory explaining exactly how he committed the murder, and it's absolutely disturbing, because keep in mind, this was his own mother.
Whatever. Alright, I'll tell you what happened. Alright, so I got home, I got an argument with my mom, she slapped me across the face, she began to hit me, she started beating me, I didn't like it, so I strangled her to death. Alright? I put her in a wheelbarrow, I put her in my car, I took the car, I had a mental breakdown where I almost committed suicide 3 times, I drove around Daytona, I dropped the wheelbarrow in some random ass location, and I drove back to the church, I began to dig a hole. I dig a hole right under the fucking fire pit. I dug a pretty deep hole, pretty deep. Yeah, deep enough to put a body in.
No remorse.
All this time, my mom was decomposing body. I dragged it from my car to the fire pit. In which case, I tried to cut the wedding ring off her finger because I wanted to pawn it, but I couldn't because I didn't have a knife strong enough to cut bones. Oh well, whatever. Anyways, so I dug that hole, threw her body in there, filled back in, made it look all nice and natural, dumped my clothes, and then I went home.
I'm being serious. If you
Do
ever
not
see
care.
this at the beach, do not touch it. And if it ever latches onto you like this, get help immediately. Before you do anything else, favorite this video because this could actually save your life one day.
What
Now,
is
at
that?
first glance, like me, you would think this is an alien creature from the deepest corners of hell. Whereas in fact, this is actually a detached octopus limb. And yes, if an octopus's arm becomes disconnected from its body, it does have the ability to live on for a short period of time by itself, explaining why it's able to move like a creature straight out of an alien movie. This, of course, is absolutely horrifying and a brand new conversation to bring up with your therapist if you saw this going about its business on the beach. Now, the suction power of this single arm would be incredibly difficult to remove on your own, because if you didn't know, one suction cup from an octopus can hold up to 35 pounds. And I am talking Great British. And on top of that, hurts. Like, really badly. Now, this most likely wouldn't make this gentleman a Twitter hashtag. However, I wouldn't like to imagine if this was stuck on a more sensitive part of the body. Like the neck. So here's the best case scenario. You see it, you avoid it, you survive. I've said this to literally anyone you know because they might need this video one day.
In 2010,
That's crazy, bro. I didn't even know freaking an octopus, I guess arm or leg had that much freaking suction power, bro. So if you see it, follow his advice, turn away, bro. Don't try to attach that onto your body, man. We learned it.
And an avid caver named Jeff decided to go to Madagascar to explore a natural cave shaft he had discovered years earlier. He arrived in country. Jeff enters the cave when he notices something out of the corner of his eye, and he sees thousands of black widow spiders trying to escape the light. As much as Jeff wanted to stop right there and go right back up to the surface, he couldn't. He needed technical gear, and his technical gear was packed in his backpack, and so he would have to descend to the bottom, then take his pack off, get the gear out, and go back up. He began his slow, awful descent into this cave filled with spiders. He'd bump into the wall, he'd hear them scatter all over the walls, and then he saw them climbing on his sleeve, he saw them on the rope. He finally gets to the bottom, and he opens it up. Spiders crawl out of his bag, carefully reaches in and pulls out his technical gear, throws it up, and he begins making his way back up. Once he gets to the surface, the first thing he does is he strips all of his clothing off to get all the spiders off of his clothing. Luckily, he doesn't get bent, and he takes his notebook out, and he scratches off the title he had given this cave from the last time he was here, which was the Crooked Tube. He scratches that out, and on top of it, he writes, "The entrance to hell."
Things we all believed as kids. For some reason, I thought that if I swallowed watermelon seeds, an entire tree would grow inside of me. Now at night, if you didn't start running to your room as soon as you turned off the lights, the monster that was somehow chasing you would catch you and eat you. A blanket could literally protect us from anything, and I would still argue that my blanket is a modern day shield. My parents used to tell me if I crossed my eyes for long enough, my eyes would stay stuck that way forever.
Yep, those were like myths as the kids.
Things you can't unsee. The KFC logo looks like Colonel Sanders has a tiny body. Now I can never unsee it. Have you ever noticed that the letter G is simply a spinning arrow? Those drowning signs at the beach look very similar to LOL. There's nothing funny about drowning. The Dodge Viper logo looks like Daffy Duck upside down. Ever noticed how water fountain drains look like a Wi-Fi logo? This sign for a German school looks a bit suspicious. Did you know there's a bear hidden inside the Toblerone logo? Did you ever notice Nelson from The Simpsons is simply a young Barney? And in the 7-Eleven logo, only the N is in lowercase. The Hunger Games Mockingjay logo looks very similar to Johnny Bravo. And I bet you never realized the Big Bang Theory's Dexter's Laboratory grown up. Also, the collar on the Wendy's girl says Mom. Homer Simpson has MG sneaked onto him. These are the initials of Matt Groening, The Simpsons creator.
I never realized.
And finally, the Adidas logo kind of looks like a sinking ship.
Damn, all these hidden logos and stuff, bro. They were right in front of our eyes and we never even knew. It goes to make you think, man, what other logos have hidden messages behind it? The more you know. That's the edit. We're calling them out.
Scary facts that will blow your mind. Part 1. The middle of nowhere is an actual place within New Mexico. The legend goes that an elderly couple lived out there with their dog and witnessed many strange and bizarre things. One night, they reported seeing a strange creature that they identified as a skinwalker. After reporting this to the police, the family had vanished under strange circumstances. Their dog, however, was left behind. This is the story that Courage the Cowardly Dog was based off of. Like and follow for more.
And all jokes in kids' cartoons you probably didn't notice.
Hey, Judy! Wanna pollinate with a real bug? Oh, lady, cut like lava. Yeah.
So, being a ladybug automatically makes me a girl. Is that it, flyboy? Huh?
Yikes! She's a god!
What would happen if you don't have a shower for 60 years? This is the world's dirtiest man, and he was born in 1928 in Iran, and apparently he hasn't taken a shower in 60 years, because he says he's scared of water and he thinks having a shower could kill him. And because he hasn't showered for so long, his immune system has gotten used to his body being this dirty. But over the years, people from other town have challenged him to have a shower in exchange for money, and he still tells them that he's so scared of it. So they offered him even more money, so he took it. But a few days after taking a shower, he died, because apparently his immune system was not used to him being so clean, which caused his body to go into extreme shock and pain. And before he died, he described the pain as a sharp burning sensation. What do you think caused this?
He really passed away because he took a shower? One of the most bizarre cases we've seen yet, Seekers.
A bad guy.
You get a triangle? That's another one. Antarctica. We ain't going to those places, man. That's off the bucket list. There's this guy that's at it. Call him like we see it.
A time traveler just took a lie detector test and passed it. I'm about to share with you all of his predictions for the upcoming future. So quickly make sure to favorite this video so we can come back to it to see if he was right. Let's start off with August of 2028, where aliens are meant to land here on Earth.
Yes, it is true that aliens did land on Earth in August 2028.
In fact, he states that we already know about the existence of aliens before this, as it becomes public knowledge. What? Next up, in the year 2030, the world will be governed under one law. This actually isn't a bad one. All of Earth's countries converge into one super nation.
In 2030, all of the world's countries converge into one super nation.
Next up, he goes on to say he has a chip inside of him. In fact, all humans from 2045 have this, and it has a name. Watch this.
I do have an implanted chip in my hand known as the One.
He claims it'll be rolled out to the public in 2029. It's a good thing no one's working on this, right? But there's even more predictions, and as I said, he was on a lie detector machine, in which every single answer came out true. In fact, even the lie detector machine guy said that he answered very quickly and very confidently. So it leads me to ask you this, is it all real? Now do me a favor, send this to literally anyone you know, because your friends need to see this.
Like the video, man, so more people can see this. That time travel theory, bro. It's chilling. What the hell happened? That was some footage we showed. Was that the debate? The mayhem. Appreciate him bringing this down for us. Fill up a stadium? God damn.
Before and after animals growing up. This is what a baby white tiger looks like. They're born blind and only weigh 2 to 3 pounds, but they soon turn into this. Adult white tigers are ferocious and dangerous. They have a bite force of 1050 psi. To put that in perspective, a human's bite force is 162.
Damn.
They also grow razor-sharp teeth. This is what a baby Alaskan Malamute looks like. They're born with blue eyes and are tiny, fluffy, and cute. But when they grow up, they look like this. They become powerful and fierce, and their blue eyes change to brown, amber, or hazel. This is what a baby salamander looks like. They are tiny at only 2.5 centimeters in length, but when they grow older, they turn massive. Their skin turns thick and scaly. They also live for a very long time, sometimes 80 years or more. This is what a baby crocodile looks like. They're very cute and tiny at only 20 centimeters, but they're not so cute when they grow up. They become one of the most aggressive animals known to man, and can weigh a mind-blowing 2,200 pounds. This is what a baby pit bull looks like. They're very cute with oversized eyes and ears. But when they get older, they become very muscular.
Damn.
If not raised well, these can be very dangerous, which is why pit bulls are banned in over 10 countries.
What you're about to see is intense. What you just saw is the United States Coast Guard raiding a high-speed submarine in the Eastern Pacific Ocean moving more than 17,000 pounds of cocaine. On June 18th, 2019, a Coast Guard surveillance aircraft tracked and intercepted the drug-filled narco sub hundreds of miles off the Colombian-Ecuadorian coastline. The video shows a member of the Coast Guard riding on top of the speeding submarine.
Oh, what the heck?
He then starts pounding on the hatch and demanding it to come to a stop. 3 other Coast Guard members then jump ship and board the 40-foot-long submarine. The video then continues, and you see the presumed trafficker emerging from the submarine hatch with his hands up, surrender. And in total, 5 alleged smugglers were seized on board the vessel and were handed over for prosecution by the United States Drug Enforcement Administration.
Are these your friends, the police?
Now, just watch the full encounter unfold. It's honestly something straight out of a video game.
Okay. Did he have to like jump onto the sub?
That's gonna be hard to get on.
Is he speaking like another language too? Oh yeah, he definitely jumped. This is something like out of a movie scene. Whew.
Job? So make sure these criminals survive long enough to have that justice served.
That was like out of a movie scene. Serious. Where's the? There's another edit.
These are the world's most haunted dolls.
Okay.
Starting at number 4.
Let at the doll. Dolls be creeping me out. I ain't a fan, man. Okay. That one looks even more freaking. Okay. Here we go. And about yeah, they made. Yeah, I'm gonna say they made movies about that. Hell no, I'm not even risking that. Nah, I'm good. Robert. Nah. Dress up like a little boy. Cursed energy, bro. I can feel it through the screen. Be writing letters to it too. No. You can't even take a video of it. Stay away
According to
from those
MKUltra
dolls.
Country, they decided that these are the top 21 most hated foods in the world. Coming in at number 21 is Brussels sprouts. According
Really?
to science, we're born to innately reject bitter foods. I couldn't agree more. At number 20 is cantaloupe. I don't agree with this at all. I love cantaloupe. Do I like it as much as watermelon, dragon fruit? No, but it definitely should not be on this list. At number 19 is pickles. I personally love pickles, but a lot of people voted them on the list because they're obnoxious shape. Also, people don't like their sour smell and annoying crunch. At number 18 is black licorice. Definitely.
Yep.
Compared to red licorice or other candy, yeah, it needs to be on that list. At number 17, you guessed it, canned tuna. Tuna salad was actually labeled as Atlanta, Georgia's #1 most hated food. At number 16 is candy corn.
Candy corn.
I love it so much, I do not understand that. At number 15 is Spam. I just don't understand the hype behind the canned meat. At number 14 is mayonnaise. I actually have a traumatic childhood experience with mayonnaise, so I would put this at number 1 on my list. At number 13 is ginger, based off of its smell. I actually love ginger, and when I'm sick, I make a hot honey lemon ginger tea. It's the way to go. At number 12 is liver. Do I even need to say more?
Yeah, no.
At number 11 is pineapple pizza. If you're somebody that likes pineapple on your pizza, jail.
Not me.
Just go. Jail. Now for the top 10, bologna. I used to love bologna as a kid, and then I had it like 20,000 times. I haven't had it in like literally 25 years. Number 9 is circus peanuts. Totally disagree with that. I love these things so much. Number 8 is eggplants. Doesn't taste like eggs at all and super bitter. Definitely should be on the list. Number 7 is bitter gourd. I've personally never had it before, but I guess it has good medicinal traits. It was voted as one of the most hated foods in China.
Okay.
Number 6 is the durian fruit. Supposedly it doesn't taste bad, but the smell is absolutely awful. And for our top 5 comes tomatoes.
Tomatoes?
I've tried so hard to like tomatoes, the different textures, I just can't get with it. Number 4 is mushrooms. This one blew me away because I love mushrooms on pizza, by themselves, as a meat substitute, but I guess the rest of the world doesn't think so. Number 3 is cilantro. Now there's actually a genetic reason behind this. If you ask a room of 100 people if they like cilantro, 14% of them will say it tastes like soap. At number 2 is olives. A lot of people think they have a very bitter, distinct flavor, and some people say they're an acquired taste. And at number 1 on the list, you guessed it, beets.
Beets?
33% of the world said they hated beets because of their earthy flavor. Let me know in the comments which food is your least favorite and which ones you thought should have been on the list.
I need your guys' list, man. Down below, seekers. Tell me, man, like I say, your most top 10, I guess, hated food or some foods I just can't stand. I really want to see you guys' thoughts down below. That's going to be interesting. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're true seekers seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, if you guys can just help me, man, by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, man, I would greatly appreciate the support on you guys joining me on my journey. I do daily uploads, so I greatly appreciate the support, man. Also, one of the questions that answered his comments, he said, why you kind of like look straightforward, just because the way my setup is right now. So currently, that's why it makes it seems like I'm just looking straight forward, but I'm watching the video at the same time. But if you guys want me to switch it up, I can try to do that for you guys, man. Anything I can do to make the channel better, I'm with it. Out. Peace, YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing all right, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do. We break down scary, creepy videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank you guys, man, who's been tapping into the channel, subscribing, hitting that post notification bell, hitting that like button, man. You're helping us grow our community, the seekers. Really appreciate the support, man. Like I said, also follow me on my social medias and send me videos where you guys want me to react to, so I can switch it up for you guys. That's what we do best. I seek the truth.
She filmed a video of her smothering her son and sent it to her friend. This is 20-year-old Emma Rigdon from St. Louis, Missouri. On April 15th of this year, Emma was with her son when she slapped his leg and put her hand over his nose and mouth.
Ooh.
Obviously, this was preventing him from breathing. Emma decided to record this incident and send it to a friend. She also recorded another video of her covering her son's face with a blanket and her hand. This caused the boy to cry and grab at the blanket. Once she sent that video to her friend, she also sent a handful of text messages. The first text said, "I don't know, when I do that, I feel an adrenaline rush." The next text said, "I stopped right before he dies. Last time he was blue." The last twisted text she sent said, "I really want to unalive him, but I don't want to go to jail. It's unfortunate, but he's just going to have to pay for his existence."
What?
The boy ended up surviving his wounds, and now someone else is taking care of him. Emma was arrested and charged with abuse or neglect of a child. She remains in jail without bond.
This man is the most dangerous prisoner in the world. You won't believe what he did. A couple had just bought a brand new house that they moved into to start a new chapter in their lives. However, the first night that they moved into the house, they began to hear noises in the basement. The couple then decided to check the basement. When they got down to the basement, they saw this scary man immediately. They called the cops, describing what he looked like. They described him as over 6 foot tall and looked like a monster while on the phone with the police. The phone mysteriously hung up. The couple then began to scream for their lives, but you never believe what he did to them.
Photos with disturbing backstory.
Finish it.
Praying for a teammate that was murdered. The killer was present. Same and Gunan preparing for rescue. Suffocated after rescuing 13 people.
Terrible. That's crazy, man. Like I said, these pictures and stuff, man, that we see, it always, like, gets my mind turned, man, when you look at a picture and, like, you really don't understand the backstory behind it. It can seem all innocent, and it's really like a dark history behind it. That's why you gotta pay attention, man, to the details. The picture, it tells a story. They're free?
Creepiest urban legends in the world.
It's disturbing.
The Devil's Chair, Florida. According to the locals, if you sit in this chair and leave a beer on the step, it will whisper torturing messages to you. Only one person has attempted this.
Have you ever wondered what happened on this exact date 300 years ago? Well, this is what happened in history today, part 1. Up first, on July 20th, 1969, Apollo 11 landed on the moon. It was carrying Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, who would become the first humans to walk on the moon. Next up, on July 20th, 1793, Scottish explorer Alexander Mackenzie completed the first European east to west crossing of America north of Mexico. It's crazy to me that on this exact day a couple hundred years ago, people were exploring the land that we call home. Next up, on July 20th, 1881, Sioux Indian chief Sitting Bull surrendered to the U.S. federal troops. Sitting Bull was an Indian tribe leader who led his people during years of resistance against United States government policies. He surrendered in exchange for amnesty for his people. Finally, on July 20th, 1917, the World War I draft was held. Secretary Baker, who was blindfolded, drew the first number from a bowl, followed by many other numbers over the course of 16 and a half hours, and every number was a different man. And believe it or not, but on that day, 1.3 million men were called up for the draft. This literally happened on this exact day a little over 100 years ago.
It's crazy, man, how many incidents happened on July 20th, man. I mean, I don't know, there's a type of energy going around on that day, something like that, bro. I'm really gonna have to check out those events to actually make sure that they happen. See, because you can do that as well, man. It seems like July 20th, we're gonna have to mark that date in our calendars. This looks like some big stuff goes down on that day. Not alone. What are we about to see? Edit. Call it like I said.
Further that you look into dark history, you start to realize just how dark it really This woman behind me, this is Lorleen Wallace. She was the first female governor of Alabama, and she was diagnosed with stage 4 cervical cancer. Dark history for Lorleen was that, legally, doctors did not have to tell her. They only told her husband. Let that sink in. She was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, terminal cancer, and only her husband was told. Her husband decided not to tell her. Legally, he didn't have to. It was thought at the time that women's nerves were too fragile to be able to handle news like this, so only their husbands were told. I think we're probably going to cover this on the podcast, because this is actually a pretty in-depth story, if you want to listen. Basically, the way this story ends is that Lorleen, she does become governor. She runs, but she only lives through the first year of her term. She was never initially told she was dying.
Fun fact.
That's insane.
Most of the thermostats found in office buildings are fake and only there to trick workers into thinking the temperature has been changed, but really they don't do anything.
Whoa.
To keep things as efficient and cost-effective as possible, most buildings have been converted to automatic thermostat systems, where sensors are placed in the building that read the temperature in the room and then turn on the heat or cooling whenever the temperature gets out of range. And generally, the temperature is set by the landlord, not the renter. Since heating and cooling costs can quickly spiral out of control, most commercial leases include a specific air temperature range for the building. But managers, landlords, and HVAC technicians got tired of the constant calls from workers telling them the heat or air conditioning wasn't working, so they came up with a solution. They began installing fake thermostats in offices so workers could have the illusion of control over the temperature, but really they don't do anything. And one HVAC technician estimated 9 out of 10 office thermostats are fake.
The craziest execution methods. Part 8. The nitric acid bath. Heavily used by ISIS in Iraq, but there are reports of it being used in other Middle Eastern countries. Bound to other prisoners and placed inside of an iron cage. You were then slowly lowered into a vat of nitric acid. Nitric acid is a colorless liquid highly corrosive to the human body. The scariest part is, they don't completely submerge you. They dip you in and out just enough to dissolve your organs. Fuck that.
These are some extreme...
That's a bad way to go out. Seekers. Couldn't even imagine that. It's like they're trying to play with you or something like that. Edit.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 21. This photo shows an 8-month-old Zhao Bao who was lucky to be alive because his mother stabbed him 90 times after he bit her while she was breastfeeding him. The world's scariest haunted house, McCamey Manor, requires you to sign a 40-page waiver and undergo a physical and mental evaluation. If you manage to make it through the house, you could win $20,000. But to this day, no one has ever made it through. The little girl who voiced Ducky in The Land Before Time was shot to death by her father, who then committed suicide. Roman Emperor Nero had a boy castrated, dressed him up as a bride, and married him, all because the boy looked similar to his previous dead wife. A 46-year-old man found and attacked a 13-year-old boy because the kid was killing him too many times in a game of Call of Duty.
4 scary...
That last one takes the kid. Just because he was getting his freaking butt whooped in Call of Duty, he decided to take it to that extreme, bro. You can't even play games nowadays, Seekers, man, without somebody trying to hunt you down because they mad at you. That's what we're coming to, man. That's like, be careful, man. If y'all talking on those Call of Duty lobbies, those are one of the most dangerous places to be in.
Facts about nights in Islam. Number 1, you die every night. According to this verse of the Holy Quran, every night when you go to sleep, your soul is removed from your body. If it is written that you will live, your soul will return in the morning when you wake up. But if it's written that you will die, your soul will stay with Allah and you will pass away in your sleep. Number 2, jinns at night. The barrier between our world and the world of the jinns is weakest at night. This is when jinns and dark creatures cross through, possessing and harming human beings that may still be awake. So if you're up beating your schlong at 3 a.m., watch out. Number 3, dogs at night. According to this hadith, if you hear a dog barking at night, seek protection from Allah because they can see what you cannot. And number 4, lock your doors at night. According to this hadith, if you lock your doors, shaitan will not be able to enter your home. Be careful at night.
You wanna check those out, Seekers, man? Dark Fox and Island?
Scary things you never knew. The last one is shocking. Taylor Swift was one celebrity that said she was concerned with climate change. But funny enough, her private jet emits more carbon in a single trip than your car does in your entire lifetime. And that jet has flown over 200 times in the past year. This is supposedly where you'll be in the next 5 years. Comment down below what your month says about you. The United States has about 6 nuclear weapons that are still missing. And nobody knows where they went or who has them. A man had donated his mother's body to scientific research when she had passed away. The research facility then sold the body to the U.S. Army for $5,000. The Army then strapped it to a chair and blew it up with explosives. Would you rather spend one night in this bathroom or kiss the third person that appears when you click share and then more? If you Google Halloween Google 2022, a scary multiplayer game will pop up that you can play with your friends. Go try it and let me know if it works for you. Before we get to the last scary thing, please support my page by clicking the follow button for more interesting posts every day. Ducks sometimes become cannibals due to boredom. Yeah, they're not so cute now. What's worse is this behavior starts as early as 4 weeks old.
What facts surprised you guys the most, man? I think it was about those missing news, bro. I'm surprised I didn't make like national news. What the hell going on? It's insane.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. The youngest inmate to have died at Kingston Pen, which is Canada's first prison, was 9 years old. He died of tuberculosis, and his crime was larceny in 1857. A typical jar of peanut butter contains 10 or more rodent hairs, averaging 1 or more rodent hairs per 100 grams. Dr. Seuss actually cheated on his wife, Helen Palmer, who was sick with cancer. She then killed herself by overdosing on barbiturates. Russia and Pluto have about the same surface area. The 2 times Snickers bar is really only 1.5 Snickers. At the age of 25 years is when your body stops producing cells faster than it can replace them, meaning your body begins dying very slowly and breaking down. There's a slight chance you could die from spontaneously combusting. Thousands of people die every year due to doctors' sloppy handwriting on prescriptions. Forensic scientists can tell when and sometimes how someone has died by looking at the type of insects that have begun to gather in and around a dead body. Your eyeballs will flatten soon after you die. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts.
Facts, man, that got you out the most. I think it's how I was saying you could just spontaneously combust. Like, I've never heard any cases like that, man. What the hell is going on in our world? But we could just combust spontaneously.
Do you ever see a picture that just makes your stomach drop? This is a still from an alert that a woman named Alexis Randall got on her phone. It's from a security camera that was set up in her living room, and she's looking at this and she's thinking the same thing you are. She's like, what's wrong with the picture here? Why did the motion detector go off? But then look a bit closer, specifically at the bathroom door. This man was staring at the camera from the doorway. She spots this picture and she immediately panics and calls the police, but by the time they get there, this guy is gone. What really freaked her out even more is that when police got there, they found evidence that the bathroom window had been tampered with. Further security footage would show that the man had crawled through the bathroom window the night before and was hiding in the hallway bathroom all through the night, even while she was in the house.
You can't even see until you zoomed in.
I mean, she could probably charge with child porn.
Who she can? She's 11 years old.
She's creating it, right?
She's 11 years old.
Doesn't matter. He's still making porn.
No, she's not. She's being manipulated by Brian.
Is she taking pictures of?
You guys have a nice evening.
Okay, thank you.
For coming.
A man who attempted to murder a teenager and left her.
They're gonna arrest that girl because she's making it.
It's a miracle that Ashley Reeves survived an attempted murder, but now her attacker is walking free. It was the 29th of April 2006 in Belleville, Illinois. At around 2 a.m, officers found 17-year-old Ashley Reeves just moments from death. She'd been left in the woods to die for over 30 hours. Paramedics rushed her to hospital and placed her in an induced coma. She was actually in such a bad way that they'd initially thought she was dead. 2 days prior to this, Ashley told her parents that she had an interview to attend. She was in a relationship with a boy called Jeremy Smith at the time, and she took his car to drive herself to the interview. When she didn't come home, her parents were extremely worried. They called authorities and began the hunt. Officers later discovered her boyfriend's abandoned car, and inside were a change of clothes that Ashley had taken to change into after her interview. That's when they discovered Ashley nearby. She'd been strangled with a belt and had her neck broken, but miraculously she was still alive. Police discovered a man named Samson Shelton was the last person to contact her. He was her teacher and a professional wrestler. They arrested him on suspicion of attempted murder. He changed his story multiple times before eventually admitting to strangling the poor girl. He said he broke her neck with his arm. He said the pair had gotten into an argument over a relationship they were having. He said they had sex, and then after the vicious attack, he had thrown her into the woods. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison, but has recently just been released on parole after serving just 17 years. It truly is a miracle that Ashley managed to survive this attack, and her story was made into a movie named Left for Dead: The Ashley Reeves Story.
Disturbing facts from history you wish you didn't know. One of the most horrifying true stories you'll ever hear has to be that of Russia's Cannibal Island. In the summer of 1933, thousands of Russian citizens were rounded up by police and sent to live on a tiny, swampy island in Siberia's Oba River. The plan was for the deportees to construct a special settlement as part of Joseph Stalin's new social engineering plan to rid Moscow of all undesirable elements. In May, the first 3,000 prisoners were dropped off by barge on Nazino Island. They were given no tools, food, or shelter. These were mostly city dwellers who had no farming experience or any skills for surviving outdoors. In a short time, the weather conditions quickly deteriorated with rain, snow, and freezing winds sweeping over the island. Even still, more barges kept coming, dropping off even more people. Guards patrolled the icy waters, threatening to shoot anyone who tried to escape. For a while, every 4 or 5 days, they would drop off sacks of moldy rye flour as the only food source on the island. The inhabitants would take the flour to the river, mix it with water and drink it. Eating it dry was nearly impossible. Accidentally breathing the flour in its original state could be suffocating. Early on, many people lost their lives by freezing. Some burned alive by sleeping too close to the fires. Others became ill from drinking the brackish water. Things grew far worse for the survivors once starvation set in. Soon, the strongest of the island's prisoners began hunting the weakest members for food. Rumors quickly spread back in Moscow that the island's prisoners had begun eating each other. The experiment ended just 13 weeks after it had begun. Soldiers were sent to evacuate the island. What they found when they got there is beyond a nightmare. Corpses stripped of their flesh littered the tall grass. Skeletal limbs and human organs were discovered hanging from trees. One woman who had been transferred to another camp was missing her calves. That's because some of the prisoners cut them off while she was alive. She only survived because the frigid temperatures kept her alive. Of the 6,700 prisoners brought to Nazino Island, 4,000 went missing or were killed. The events on Russia's Cannibal Island were covered up until 1988, when secret records were finally released to the public.
That's some dark history, bro. What you got? Cannibal Island? What the hell? It's a whole less experiment, man. Makes you think. What other stuff is covered up that we don't know about?
Terrifying things that our own government did to us in our past. Here we go. Starting in 1953, the CIA illegally experimented on U.S. and Canadian citizens. The project was called MKUltra, or Operation Mind Control. The government recruited over 80 institutions and over 150 researchers to do their dirty work for them. They were using biological and chemical agents on their participants, but the worst of all was the LSD experiments. They would use prisoners, mental patients, and even drug addicts for these experiments. This scene in Stranger Things is actually taken from the MKUltra experiments, where one patient was given LSD for 174 days in a row. Heroin, morphine, alcohol, marijuana were all used as well. They say that the experiments lasted all the way until 1973. Some people, like Ken Kesey, actually volunteered for this which led to the electric Kool-Aid acid test in the 1960s with the...
And I think about it, Stranger Things, you guys know that scene with Elle and when she was training and stuff. They said they based it off that. I never put two and two together until now. And I was just talking about how some stuff about we don't know what stuff got covered up, man. And it's just like coincidence. Next video, next clip, just pulled it up, man. Tap in with us, bro. We learning.
So this little boy lost his life by treadmill due to his father. So this man is currently on trial for this. So I just watched the video, and on the video, the little boy seems to be walking for a long time. The father walks over, speeds up the treadmill while talking to the little boy. Then he speeds it up some more. Then he inclines it, and the little boy is struggling. You can see his little legs just going as fast as they can to keep up with the treadmill. Like he's full on sprinting, and at some point, he can't keep up, and he falls off. Like he just rolls off the treadmill and hits the ground. The father picks him up, tosses him back on the treadmill, bites him on top of the head while holding him down on the treadmill and making his feet keep up with the speed. As soon as the father lets him go, he rolls off the treadmill again, bumps his head, hits the floor. He jumps up, gets back on the treadmill, tries to keep up with it again, falls. He repeats this about 3 or 4 times. That's where the father is biting him on the head right there. So eventually the father does slow the treadmill down and brings the incline down, but he makes the boy continue to run. So the father and the mother does have like some type of joint custody, shared custody type of situation, I guess. And the mother is the first one to report the injuries to child protection. And she tells him to take their son to the hospital when he does. While at the hospital, that's when the little boy revealed that his father made him run on the treadmill because he was fat. This little boy is little, even if he was fat. And so the next day when they wake up, the little boy is stumbling, he's slurring his words, he's nauseous, so he does rush into the hospital. And while they're getting a CT scan, the little boy has a seizure, and they have to take life-preventing measures, and they were unsuccessful. The little boy did pass away. Now, the autopsy revealed that there were blunt force injuries. It was cardiac and liver contusions, sepsis. There was lacerations on his heart and liver. Now, if you go to YouTube and watch the video, because his father is currently on trial, and it shows the video, y'all see how hard this little boy kept hitting that treadmill when he fall, and the way his dad would put him back on there, you'll see why he had the injuries that he had. And they have offered the father a 30-year plea deal, and he turned it down. They got footage. I'm glad he turned it down. He's gonna get even more time.
Things humans were never meant to see. Man transforms into real werewolf.
Okay. Let's see. A werewolf? I don't see nothing yet. Iffy, man. You believe this, Seekers? This has to be like a well put together edit, right? What the fuck? A werewolf. That's what we're going with. I ain't gonna lie, that kind of looked like edited to me. I don't know, man. Like I said, tell me down below, guys, if you guys believe that. You guys want me to check into that, man? That looks freaking weird. But okay. Guys, if you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're a truth seeker seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell, hit that like button, man. Also, man, like I said, guys, I need you guys to follow me on my social medias, man. If you guys want me to react to different TikToks and clips, you guys follow me on my social medias, and you guys can send it to me in my DMs so I can incorporate them into the next video if you guys want me trying to, because I know how you said you guys want me to switch it up, so I need your guys' support, man. Like I said, just follow me on my social medias and send me the videos in my DMs, and I can incorporate that for the next video so we can help each other out, man. Like I said, we're gonna grow our community together. You guys gonna catch you in the next one. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.